In this gospel, there was a woman who was from Canaan. And she was making a scene. She was making a spectacle of herself. Jesus was moving along with his disciples, and she was hollering after them, after Jesus. And the disciples were embarrassed. They were humiliated because she was making a scene. Now, you can imagine wherever you live, if you were walking down the street, and all of a sudden there's a woman and she's hollering, and she's waving. She's making a scene. First reaction of most people would be to walk on the other side of the street. Get away from her. Crazy. And that was pretty much the reaction of the disciples. And they told Jesus, you know, so many words she's making her scene, tell her to go. Jesus didn't say anything. And she kept hollering, Lord, help me. Lord, help me. And Jesus looked at her and he said something that sounds very rude. He says, it's not fair to give the food of the children to the dogs. And it sounds as if he's calling her a dog. And you can imagine if you came and asked me for something, and I said to you, it's not fair to give the food of the children to the dogs. If any one of the priests or I did that at camp, there'd be a call home. The priest called me a dog. The bishop called me a dog. And there'd probably be a lot of people upset. This woman wasn't upset. She didn't get mad at all. She said, true, Lord. But even the dogs eat from their master's table. Then you found out why Jesus said those words, because he knew what her reaction would be. He said, woman, great is your faith. And this morning I not only want to talk to you about our faith, but about how much we want this desire. Because this morning's gospel has to do with testing you to see how badly you want it. It has to do with the desire. This woman didn't care that people were staring at her. She didn't care that she was making a scene. Pretty much like some of you the other night when you walked in here. When you walked in, and you were jumping up and didn't care you were making a scene. I don't know if you realized you were making a scene, but you were making a scene. But you didn't care because you wanted to hug that person so much. You wanted to see them so much that you didn't care. All you knew is that you wanted to be with that person. And that's something that you had wanted for many, many weeks, maybe many, many months, was now there. It was in your grasp, and you didn't care who heard or who saw it. You were grabbing on. This woman wanted God. She wanted God to have mercy upon her. She wanted to be with God, and she didn't care. When she saw God, she went beyond what you did the other night. A bunch of people around and she didn't know, and she was screaming and hollering and carrying on, because more than anything else, she wanted to be with God. This is one of the Gospels we read before we start. One of the first Gospels we start to read before we start Lent. Because for people that are thinking about being Christian, the question is, how bad do you want this? Do you want this bad enough that you'll holler and scream and carry it on? Do you want this bad enough that you'll take insults? Because that's what this is about. This is wanting this more than anything else. And for those people that are already Christian, the question is, do you still want this? Or did you ever want it? Or did you just want to be part of the crowd? You see, the kingdom of God, heaven, is for people who have no, or don't want any other distractions between them and God. It's you and God. You and I, God. It's you and I. I'm focused on you. I'm focused on what you want from me, and I'm going to do whatever you ask me to do. And if I have to holler and scream and embarrass myself, and if I have to be crucified, if I have to be called a filthy dog, a rat, a stupid, or an idiot, I don't care. He said, it's you what I want, God. And I'll keep saying it, and I'll keep begging until God willing will take me. You know, we have 3 different groups here that I'm acquainted with. We have people that are here for winter camp. We have people that are here as part of their marriage retreat. And we have members of the midshipmen of the United States Navy that are here. And maybe some other people of the armed forces, I'm not sure. But I think you can understand what I'm talking about. I already gave you a description of how campers respond to this place. But I want you to think, those of you that are here at campers, about something that you've gotten excited about and you want it more than anything else. I don't know what it is. I'm sure there's something that you get excited and you think about it all the time. You really want it. You got to want heaven more than this. And you got to want God more than that thing that you're thinking about. And for those of you that are married, I've never been married. And the women of this world should thank God for that. I did you all a favor. I didn't marry any of you. God did you a favor. He didn't give me you a favor. But as a matter of fact, those of you that are married, I've been told, and I've been informed, and I've even spoken to people that when they were getting ready to get married, that they wanted to be with each other more than anything else in the world. One time I had somebody come to me when I was a priest in the parish, and I always used to ask people. I didn't spend much time talking to them about marriage. I let the married priests that were with me do that. But I said, why do you want to get married? And the woman looked at me, and she said, and she looked at me, and she says, when I look at him, I melt. I feel so good. And he looked at her and he said, I feel the same way. I said, is that why you want to get married?